Good morning to the Chairperson of Competition Commission, Secretary Corporate Affairs, and all the members of the Commission, past presidents of the or past chairpersons of the Competition Commission, and all invited dignitaries and the media. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to be here, and also on the occasion of the 16th annual day, of which the chairperson has given us an elaborate sort of report about how the Commission is keeping itself tuned to the needs of today. I think the strength of any Commission is to anticipate what is happening and what is likely to happen, particularly in a country like in India, where despite opening up our economy in 1991, the progression towards opening has been, if I can say, steady, but could have been faster. Equally, the challenges globally of competition, the spike and sudden increase in the electronic way of doing business, the digital commerce, have all brought in absolutely newer technology-driven challenges for assessing free market. So, Competition Commission of India is actually functioning amidst all these challenges and is still in its teens. So, facing the challenges, I would say, very well, and also making sure that you anticipate the changes in the market and be relevant to the needs of the time. So it's not just a celebration of an institution, but also a confirmation of a principle that markets must work for the many and not just for the few. That itself captures the free market, democratizing the market principle, and therefore is the key principle, I would think. The enactment of the Competition Act in 2002 was a landmark reform in India's journey from a centrally planned regime, as I said, to a market-driven one, and making the Competition Commission a key institution in safeguarding the spirit of liberalization while checking its excesses. The mandate of the Competition Commission of India under the Competition Act is threefold. One, to promote and sustain competition in markets, to protect the interests of consumers and ensure freedom of trade, and finally, and most critically, to prevent practices having an adverse effect on competition. So the simple truth which I'd like to mention here drives this mandate, and that is competition drives efficiency, nurtures innovation, and also benefits consumers. Therefore, for innovation, competition acts as a relentless nudge. In a monopolistic environment, there is just no urgency to evolve, whereas with competition, the fear of being outpaced forces organizations to innovate, and as a result, whether it is in technology or in design or in service or even in delivery. So I think the current situation is aggravated both positively and otherwise because of technology-driven innovation playing a big role in our economy. Free and fair market actually ensures that no single player can corner resources, suppress choice, or to distort price discovery. This benefits our consumers. Competition ensures that the voice of consumers, that is the common people, matters, and therefore businesses are forced to listen. Prices fall not due to charity, but because someone else is willing to offer the same product for less. Quality improves not due to sense of ethics, but because mediocrity is punished by market forces. And therefore, in a competitive market, the consumer becomes powerful, not by assertion, but by default. The Commission's interventions, whether through enforcement, advocacy, market studies, or regulatory reforms, play a significant role in facilitating the environment where enterprises, big or small, can compete on merit, where consumers are empowered with choices and where innovation and efficiency are rewarded. For India, a nation of 1.4 billion people, ensuring free and fair market is not merely an economic need, it is a democratic one. Economies that embrace competition are by nature more dynamic, and therefore CCI plays an important role in this backdrop to keep the competition alive in the markets. The ability of the Commission is a very important point on which all of us will have to mull over a lot of fundamental facts. The ability of the Commission to strike a balance between the regulatory vigilance and a pro-growth mindset will be integral to building a resilient, equitable, and innovation-driven economic framework in India as it aspires to become Vikasit Bharat, the chairperson referred to it, by 2047. On the one hand, it has the Commission has upheld the sanctity of the law through firm and decisive enforcement actions against anti-competitive practice. On the other, it has shown equal commitment to enabling legitimate business conduct, thereby encouraging an environment where enterprises can innovate, grow, and compete fairly. Such a calibrated stance contributes significantly to inclusive market development and building investor confidence in India's regulatory framework. Evolving challenges is actually changing the nature of the economy itself to an extent. With the last few years marked by a series of wide-ranging disruptions, from the COVID pandemic to evolving geopolitical tensions and supply chains breaking down, the need for strong, responsive, and forward-thinking institutions has never been more critical. In an export-challenged, environment-challenged, energy-challenged, and emission-challenged world, the increased reliance on domestic growth levers requires ensuring the right balance of regulation and freedom. India's ongoing structural reforms, whether it is asset monetization, disinvestment, and digital public infrastructure, all are geared towards unlocking market potential and deepening competition. So in this year's Union Budget, I had mentioned the importance of a light-touch regulatory framework based on principles and trust to unleash productivity and employment. In the same vein, regulators must be guided by the principle of minimum necessary, maximum feasible in order to balance regulatory vigilance with a pro-growth mindset. Again, in this year's budget, I had announced that the requirements and the procedures for speedy approval of company mergers will be rationalized, and the scope for fast-track mergers will also be widened and the process be made simpler. So in addition to the traditional challenges, recent years have also seen emergence of new challenges. Artificial intelligence technologies raise novel questions about market power, transparency, data access, algorithmic biases, and also scope of competitive harm. Free and fair digital markets are challenged by the emergence of gatekeeper platforms, asymmetries in data access, and cross-border implications of digital business models. The rise of cross-border digital monopolies demands global cooperation and agile regulations. Since before the G20 India presidency, and more particularly after the G20 India presidency, we've been taking up on global cooperation and also global understanding in regulation as well. I'm pleased to note that the Competition Commission's proactive engagement and commendable progress in building internal capacity to address traditional and emerging challenges. Over the years, the Commission has effectively utilized market studies as a powerful non-enforcement tool to deepen its understanding of emerging sectors, identify potential competition issues, and build consensus among stakeholders. The recently initiated market study by the CCI on artificial intelligence and competition is a timely and strategic initiative. The establishment of Digital Markets Division is also a timely move and is expected to become a center of excellence in understanding technology markets, forging interregulatory partnership, and engaging in global disclosures. The discourse can also be widened by such a center of excellence. The establishment of regional offices has also enhanced the CCI's capabilities and accessibility to the companies and responsiveness to stakeholders across states. As markets deepen and diversify across India, it is important that the CCI continues to be approachable and visible. Holding awareness camps, stakeholder consultations, and compliance workshops in different parts of the country would help. And that would help in building a more informed ecosystem and making competition principles more widely understood and followed. CCI's role in the competition assessment of such instruments is also crucial. And that is because we do not want competitive markets to be influenced only by business conduct, but also by government policies, laws and regulation, entry barriers, licensing norms, or procurement rules can also create distortion. In today's interconnected and fast-paced economy, delays in regulatory clearance can lead to uncertainty, disrupt commercial timelines, and potentially erode the intended value of transactions. And globally, it has an impact even as we negotiate free trade agreements with different countries, because the ability, the nimbleness, and the readiness of our regulators is very keenly watched by investors. There is no need for me to underline the importance of that, but that has a very serious connotation when you're looking at fairly within reasonable time agreeing on some free trade agreements. So whether it is litigation, whether it is time consumed in litigation, or whether when regulators are less transparent, negotiations can get complicated. It is therefore imperative that regulatory frameworks, while maintaining rigorous oversight, also facilitate swift and seamless approvals for combinations that pose no harm to competition. I'm also pleased to note that the Commission introduced a green channel mechanism in response to this need, which is a trust-based, risk-calibrated approach, which allows the automated approval of combinations that are deemed to have no appreciable adverse effect on competition in order to reduce transaction costs and timelines for benign mergers and acquisitions. The Competition Amendment Act of 2023 has been an important landmark in the evolution of the competition law in India, strengthening the Commission's enforcement capabilities, while simultaneously creating a more facilitative and transparent regulatory framework. One of the key provisions of the Amendment Act was the inclusion of transaction value thresholds, mandating that all deals valued above 2,000 crores now require prior notification to the Competition Commission of India. This is particularly relevant in the digital economy, where asset-light business models and high-value acquisitions may escape traditional asset or turnover-based thresholds. In parallel, a merger review timeline have also been introduced from 210 days to 150 days, enabling quicker regulatory decisions that align with the fast-moving nature of the global business transactions. By broadening the scope of anti-competitive agreements, the Act also equips the Commission to better address modern, complex forms of collusion. Further, the introduction of the settlement and commitment frameworks represents a significant step towards reducing protracted litigation and enabling faster resolution of investigations, particularly in cases involving abuse of dominance or vertical restraints. So in conclusion, I would like to say that as India integrates further with the global value chains and digital ecosystems, maintaining open and contestable markets will be crucial to our competitiveness. The Competition Commission of India, through its unique mandate and cross-sectoral role, will be a key enabler in this journey, whether it is facilitating market access for MSMEs, addressing barriers that impede fair competition, promoting digital inclusion, or ensuring that the consumers benefit from better choices, lower prices, and improved quality. Congratulations to the Commission, the officers, and the entire staff for their tireless efforts, unwavering commitment, and also for forward-looking vision. I urge you to continue striving for excellence, innovation, and equity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words and kind appreciation. Your valuable perspectives will resonate